Hey, looks like Krebs got a new intro. Hope you guys actually like it. I absolutely adore it. In fact, it was made by a fan called Septura. I'm gonna link his channel in the description box below if you want to go check out his other stuff that he does, or even order your own animations, graphics, whatever. Alright, so what do I have on offer for you guys today? Well, I'm flying out in some arcade battles. We'll get back onto historical battles soon. Have patience. And I'm going to be trying out some of these new Japanese planes, these heavy fighters. So essentially the bow fighters, nemesis that the Japanese have to offer. And they're quite unique because in the last video that I was doing of them, it was in the dev server. I was explaining that at tier 5, I believe, these planes, the Ki-45s, are actually the first planes in the entire game to get the 37mm cannon. And so, yeah, I just decided, why not, let's go fly out in them, see how they generally fly like. And this game that I'm flying in right now is on Stalingrad. I've also got another one on Alpine Meadows loaded up in this video in just a few minutes to come. Just going to show you guys how I got my kills, and generally speaking, just everything behind it. So, Stalingrad, wintertime. If you notice on this map, it's this one of these maps where you've got two airfields, one for each team, and then right smack dab in between it is no man's land and also a whole bunch of vehicles that are coming at each other. And so a lot of times when you're flying on this map, you'll have a whole bunch of bombers, sometimes fighters who are sporting the bombers, coming to destroy your ground targets. And since I'm flying in a heavy fighter, and most specifically the Ki-61, I'm flying in the Hay, or the I think that's how you say it, the Hay or the high version. So the tier 7 one, and it allows me access to 37mm cannons along with a 20mm cannon as well. So lots of firepower to work with. And because I'm in a heavy fighter and I've got these sort of armaments to work with, it means I might as well go bomber hunting, and happy days, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm playing a defensive role. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, I remember a few, maybe 2 months ago, maybe something like that, I made a video about how to play the bow fighter. And I was playing very, very defensively with it, essentially just attacking bombers and any lone targets. And I think that's actually how you're supposed to play these heavy fighters. If you want to be, you don't have to stick by the rules. I mean, fair enough, go attack fighters and get in the midst of dogfights, just don't expect to come out of it alive. Because of how big and sluggish these planes are, the slow turn times and the not so great agility that they have with them, it means that a lot of times if you get into a dogfight, you'll probably just come out dead. So what I recommend is playing differently, changing up your playstyle. Go for those bombers, because your fighters are going to have a hard time taking on them, because a lot of times bombers will have turrets at the back, and fighters can't take much abuse from those bombers. And so, hey ho, I've got powerful armaments because I'm using a heavy fighter. I can take a lot of shots. Well, might as well take advantage of it. Plus, it's easier to hit a bigger target like a bomber rather than a smaller target like a fighter. So this is just the award screen right over here. That's why I managed to get 33,600 lions. Not too bad. Oh, and TKC. That's the new squadron that I made. So quick shout out to the new squadron that I've made, the Krebs Crew, TKC. If you want to join it, just send an invite or a request to join. I'm accepting all fans who want to be part of the crew. And yeah, you're all going to be accepted. You can play with Krebs, you can play with the other fans. It's going to be great, fantastic times ahead. Alright, so here's the second game on Alpine Meadows. And now with this one, I was sort of stuck between which way should I go, left or right. Because if I go out into the open bit, maybe it might be a dogfight. If I go into the passageways between the Rocky Mountains, then maybe it'll be too constricted for me to get away. So I decided, hey ho, I'll just fly out in between the map and see what there is. And lo and behold, I managed to single out a number of targets. There's a hurricane behind me, so I'm not only going to show how I'm killing targets, but also how I'm defending against certain ones. So Hurricane, it's not like a Spitfire Mark II, it can't outturn you too well. However, I'm still in a heavy fighter, and it's still gonna have that advantage in terms of turn time and such. However, because I have more powerful engines, it means I could probably climb up better than this Hurricane can. So doing a little bit of twists and turns and eventually a corkscrew, a vertical corkscrew, I don't think he had the engine power to keep up that climb, and luckily for me, had a nice break there from a teammate helping me out to kill him. So SU2 down here, diving down on top of him from that momentum I've gained from doing that vertical corkscrew, diving down, and he's gone. Next on up, here's another defensive clip where I'm looking to the left, and I thought that nobody was coming for me, but it seems like an enemy actually is. You can see that fire trail whizzing on by beside my plane, and I'm getting hit a little bit here, some damage to my wing, and now all I'm going to be using is the mountains to my advantage. Oh, look at that! I made the enemy crash into the mountains. So one of the new additions, brilliant additions to this game, is these low-lying clouds. You'll have to take advantage of your altitude tab in the top left of the screen to make sure you don't lose how low you actually are to the ground. But what's really difficult is that you don't really see mountains unless they're about 700, 800 meters away from you. And the funny thing is, that guy who's tailing after me, maybe that was a Spitfire, I can't even tell, because I'm watching it on a smaller screen at the moment. But yeah, crash right into the mountain, taking advantage of those new features out in the games. Into the game. So S79 above me, decided that I'm gonna go kill him, and this is actually where I'm gonna die soon because there's an enemy tailing after me, but I know I have no chance because I've lost a lot of speed. He's shooting at my underbelly. I was thinking maybe I could kill that S79 before he killed me, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So now I'm flying out in my, I think my Otsu. I think that's the one that I'm using. And the reason is because you have the Ko, the Otsu, the Tei, and the Hei. The Hei has the biggest armaments on it, whilst the God, am I thinking of it right? I think it's a Hei. Yeah, the Hei has the biggest armaments. Then the Tei has a 37mm cannon without a 20mm cannon, and then the Otsu has a 37mm with a 20mm. So it might be lower tier than the tier 6 one at tier 5, or so, I think it's tier 5, if I'm remembering correctly. But it has bigger, more armaments. It has 20mm and 37mm rather than the single 37mm. Anyway, I died there at the very end. That was their best player on their team coming after me. You guys might have noticed that I was flying, and then all of a sudden to the side, their best player was coming after me. But yeah, I managed to get a decent number of kills in these planes. Not the most I've ever gotten, but it's what you have to sort of expect when you're flying out in these heavy fighters. Don't expect that you're going to get lots and lots of kills that the fighters would normally get in a match. It's just because you're adopting your playstyle to a different scenario where you're just going to be taking on bombers, and since bombers aren't going to be frequenting the skies as much as fighters, you're not going to get as many kills. Plus bombers are hard to destroy than fighters. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, this is Krebs, and I will catch you all later.
Right, here we go! 3, 2, 1.
Fly out in terms of maneuverability and such. When it comes to speed, it's not the fastest out there. When it comes to turn times, not the fastest out there. But it makes up for its climb rates. You guys saw at the very beginning of the video, I was doing almost near enough of vertical climb, and I thought that was pretty damn cool. I might actually keep it up for a little bit of time as well.